24 hours since our last video, and the floodgates have completely cracked and ruptured. Things have broken through in bold new ways with videos of people holding the Switch 2 and the Joy-Con attaching and detaching, and basically companies saying, screw it, Nintendo won't announce it, we're going to show it to you anyways. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Freaking crazy on here. We're kicking it off, though, with official Nintendo business, because that's how we operate around these parts. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Nintendo of Japan, the official @Nintendo Twitter, they changed their banner to this. It's Mario and Luigi showcasing nothing. They're revealing nothing. Check out this banner. This is what they got. I mean, this is like really funny to me that Nintendo has shown nothing lately. And now we have Mario and Luigi showing nothing. Woohoo! Like, this is fourth wall breaking. This is really impressive, Nintendo. If this wasn't a joke, man, joke's on you. But a lot of people are expecting that this might mean Nintendo is getting ready to announce something. Why are Mario and Luigi pointing to nothing? What's going to go in this void? It seems like the perfect space for a Switch 2 console. But we've seen so much of the Switch 2 thanks to Genki. Genki is a company making accessories for the Switch 2. CES is currently going on, which is the Consumer Electronics Show. And basically, they say they have a Switch 2. And they're showing exactly how it works, exactly how it looks. This video is our best look at the whole dang thing yet. You can see how their grips, this is the Genki part of it, work. You can see how their shell works, but you can also just basically get an idea in motion of how the Switch 2 looks and works. And if that wasn't enough, it's this one right here, straight from the Genki booth. Just, demagnetizing the Joy-Con, popping them off, holding the freaking thing, seeing how they connect and disconnect. Genki said, you know what, Nintendo hasn't announced it. Who cares? We're making accessories. We want to sell them. We want you to get excited. We want people to buy. We want people to come to our booth, and we want to be the biggest show on Earth. And they are the biggest show at CES thanks to their Switch 2. Now, let's be clear. They say they have a Switch 2, but what this is right here, I don't think is the Switch 2. I think this is a dummy unit that has been mocked based on the Switch 2. I don't think you could put a cartridge in and play this thing on the Switch 2. But they are showing us exactly what it will look like because they have one and have recreated it. They've got all sorts of different protectors. They've got accessories. They've got Joy-Con holders. And you can see, where is it? Right. There's Joy-Con. There's a picture of the Joy-Con. Is it here? Yeah, look at this. Okay, this is what the Joy-Con look like on this stand. This is a Genki stand. You're going to charge your Joy-Con, but very nice look, very interesting picture, and you can see the blue and orange accents. Now, from my best guess on these images, to me, it looks like the only color is within the recessed portion of the analog stick. It does not look like there's any coloring whatsoever on the buttons. I mean, maybe these face buttons do have XYAB in orange and blue, but from here it looks like they're clear buttons with what I would imagine would then be black writing to match up with the matte black finish. I mean, maybe they are colored, and maybe this shot is purposely obscuring the look of the buttons face on because either Genki doesn't know or Genki doesn't want to reveal. But at the same time, Genki just doesn't care. Genki just doesn't care at all. This is what the Switch 2 is going to look like. This is how it's going to function. That's how it's going to pop on and off, and it looks notably bigger, as you can see, than the Nintendo Switch 1 when they show the comparison. Those are the release buttons. As you saw right there, it's releasing right off. It pops back on. It's notably bigger than the Switch. It's taller than the Switch. The screen is bigger than the Switch. There is a ton of bezel. Now, another thing I want to point out here is Genki's model that they're showcasing is a white Nintendo Switch 2. And from what we've heard, it's launching matte black. So that's another reason why I think you can fully confirm that's not a working Switch 2, but that it is a rather dummy Switch 2 that they've brought to the booth. I don't think they'd be bold enough to bring their Switch 2 that they somehow acquired to the booth. I've read rumors that, like, oh, you can get the Switch 2 on the black market. People are already selling the Switch 2, not like retail, but like, to accessory manufacturers. Like, if you're in the know, you can black market one of these from the factory. I don't know how true all that is, but it is very strange and suspicious. How did Genki get this console? And why are they not concerned about Nintendo just absolutely jumping down their throats? It's also impressive to me that Nintendo has done nothing about this. Probably because A, I don't know if they can, and B, we are so close to the reveal. We are so close to the reveal, it doesn't really matter at this point. And as I've said countless times, the software, the games, that's the secret sauce that Nintendo really cares about. The form factor and the minute changes from Switch 1 to Switch 2, even though they're a big deal to us hardcore, the general consumer, the average Switch player, isn't really paying attention to this and isn't going to really care. To them, without seeing the comparison, they might just think this is a Switch 1. They might not actually realize and recognize and know, like, oh, look, it's a bit different how it demagnetizes. It's look, like they pop off, they don't slide off. They might not even notice that. And I really like something about this I feel is very satisfying. The fact that it actually is going to slot in, like you can see on the side of the Switch, the the hardware, the console, it's recessed, and so glink, it like just zonks in there. And I feel like that's going to be such a satisfying feeling, and I hope that the feeling and sound effects really satisfying. Maybe that's something only a neurodivergent person would say, but very weird. I just really think that that's going to be really cool and better than... I don't really like the sliding. In fact, one of my favorite Switches, the bottom piece of where you slide the rail and got bent in, so I can't actually rail a Joy-Con. I can't get it to stick in there. I have to only play with Pro Controller. So this system seems like it's going to be a lot better, a lot more conducive to not only them sticking in better, but longer lasting, not being as flimsy, not snapping. And of course, we have no drift on the sticks, which is the best piece of the entire puzzle. One more good look at this image for you here, and then we're going to move on to the logo, which now both Pioro and Necrophilippe think they have locked in. Necrophilippe comes through and says, "Good morning, and I can say that for the first time, I got access to the Nintendo Switch 2 logo thanks to a photo of the console that a reliable source sent me. Based on what I saw and respecting the measurements, I recreated it and it'll be exactly like this." And then Pioro responds and just says, "Winky face," and Necrophilippe gives him the hands up emoji. So this is your Switch 2 logo. Very shocking, right? Very surprising, very, very demure. It's very crazy. It's just a straight up Switch logo with the 2. They shrunk the Joy-Con part and they gave us a 2, and I would bet my marbles that this piece and this piece are going to come together in the animation. You know how previously in the animation, here, like this would start up and go click and slot down like the slide in the Joy-Con? I think now this is going to start out and go click and click in. Maybe a different sound effect, but a similar animation also. Because of the vertical nature of this image, it would be very odd to have... I think it'd be just very imbalanced and look weird to have this Joy-Con up there. It still could, but my prediction for something that doesn't matter but will be stuck in our heads forever is that the animation will be this Switch Joy-Con zooping in magnetic style, because it's now a magnetic Joy-Con and they don't really slide down and up. They slide in and out. But this is just crazy business right here. Getting to see this like full bore, getting to, go all in and see, hey, here's what the Switch 2 is going to look like. Like even they show, you notice right there, see that red dot? Here, let's get it. Boop. You see that red dot in there? From the, the little IR sensor, the optical sensor. Can I capture it on? There it is. See it? Inside the hole, right in here, there's a little red dot basically confirming and verifying all of our rumors and thoughts and hypotheses about this being sort of a mouse operating as some sort of a cursor. And that has brought about a discussion that maybe the C button is indeed the cursor button. But my favorite theory about the C button, after doing a lot of reading and seeing a lot of hypotheses and just sort of being with the information for the last week or so, where things have really started to speed up and things have really started to snowball, I think the C button is just that, a C button. I don't know if the C button stands for cast or console or control or community or chat or cursor. I think it might just be the C button. There's been C buttons on Nintendo controllers before. We had the C pad on the N64 controller. We've had a C button on a nunchuck. It's not for anything. And maybe you thought Nintendo had advanced to a point where they would be labeling the buttons, in a way that makes them mean something. And primarily, not because people are just silly, but because the C button is located below the home button. So it's in a specific way where it seems like it would have a very, what should I say, generic type function, right? Not like a function for a game. Typically, if it's going to be a function for the game, it's going to be up here, it's going to be on the back. It's not going to be below the home button in the position where you're not regularly pressing down there, right? You're not regularly having your hands down there. This C button, I think it's just an extra button, and I don't really know what it would be used for, because it seems very odd that a company would be like, oh yeah, the C button is to fire the missiles, and you have to press way down here. Like, they're not going to do that. So maybe it ends up being for cursor. That's my second best guess, given the mouse optical eye sort of info and pictures and now video that we have dug through. But my current prediction is that the C button is the C button. There's no special word behind it. It's just the straight up C, letter C, because they have A, B, X, Y, and we already have ZL and ZR, and we already have L and R. So it's like, what are you going to use? What letters left? H button, P button, Q button, D button. The D pad you already have, so it's like the C button. You've got A, B, you've got X, like C is the letter. So if they're ever going to add another button, whatever this button does, it's going to be C. And maybe it's just straight up multifunctional. Maybe in some games it is a cursor. Maybe in some games it is, I don't know. We have pause and select, so it's not going to be that. But yeah, I think that we're really looking at just another button and how that's utilized, why it's there. I don't really know. Hopefully we get some clarity on that. And we should, based on this banner change. Mario and Luigi revealing absolutely nothing. Fill that thing in. You know they are. You know they're going to fill it in. And might I remind you that they gave less than a 24 hours notice last time they announced a trailer and then showed off the Nintendo Switch 1. So this could happen within the same 24-hour period. It could happen within the same day. Or Nintendo could not have any warning and just pop a trailer of the system. We're sitting here on Wednesday, January 8th. Most likely it's going to be next week, given that we're coming to the close of the week, especially in Japan, who are ahead of schedule. I think it'll be next week. I think this is going to convert into a new banner of the Switch 2. I think Mario and Luigi are teasing something, but more importantly, Genki just broke the freaking dam. They just cracked open and said, it's time for a deluge of water. Drink it all down. This is the Switch 2. And you get to see it and know it and feel it and use it and be a part of it. Except you can't see the games on it because we don't know. They're secret. They're mysterious. And Nintendo's going to reveal them to all of us soon. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you're pumped. And until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.